Hey everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here with another indie comic recommendation video. Before we get into that, just a quick reminder that Mighty Mascots number 10, triple size anniversary issue, is heading towards the finish line. I'm hoping to send this sucker. I was thinking March, at the end of March, but it might be mid to late April now. We most of the book is finished. It's just the editing side of it's taken a little longer than expected. But once that's done, we're ready to rock and roll. So it'll be cool. And I actually added a bonus pinup, even though we didn't unlock the stretch goal for it. So, but we might in the next couple of months. We're only less than $300 away, so we might unlock it then. Anyways, and I also wanted you to check out plasticcitycomiccon.com. This is for August 23rd this summer. Our guest list is starting to grow strong. You know, we're almost sold out of tables, so it's awesome. The show's looking great as ever. Very hard focus on comics and creators, so definitely check that out. Okay, so now that we got all that fun stuff out of the way, I've been doing these videos for a while now, maybe a year or two at this point. And I always feel like I need to explain for new viewers. So basically every month I do my orders for DCBS. Anyways, so I do my order on DCBS.com. Great site. We're going to start using them instead of previews. Because I went to previews to look at some of these comics that I want to recommend, and there's no description. There's barely an image there, and it's sad state of diamond, unfortunately. But yeah. So, and when I go through my order every month, I highlight a bunch of #1 books that either I'm going to add to my order, or I might get, especially if it's a mini series, I might get the trade paperback later on. But I pick out like 5 or 6, sometimes 7 or 8 different titles that look cool to me. And this is, like I said, this is not everything that's out there that's indie. It's just stuff that appeals to me that I think you as an audience may enjoy as well. So, and I'll give you usually my reason on why I pick it. It's usually creator based or genre based, things like that. So, all right. So without further ado, let's get into this month's picks. All right. So the first one this month is called Sleep. Now, this is an 8-issue miniseries. It is by Image Comics. And the cover price on this is $3.99, which is actually on the lower side of things comic wise. So worth a shot. If you buy the first issue through DCBS, it ends up being half the price. So there's another reason to check it out. But this looks cool. It's about like a serial killer, but it's about a guy that when he goes to sleep, he kind of becomes a killer in his sleep, and he doesn't know why that's happening or, how to stop it, that kind of thing. And it just looks cool. I've never read anything by the creator here, Xander Cannon. It looks like he did some books called Heck, Top 10, and Kaiju Max. Top 10, if that's the Alan Moore book, I might have read that. And I've heard of Kaiju Max. I haven't heard of Heck. But I thought this premise and the look of the artwork looked pretty cool, so I was going to recommend it. Now, I don't have the diamond code, but if you go to DCBS, they do have a product code right here. And like I said, you can go to most shops and request these comics on your pull list. Like if your shop is a little more on the modern side, they should be linked up with all these pull codes and things like that. So if you help your shop out, pre-order, tell them you want Sleep, and it's in for 8 issues, so check that out. Okay, moving on to our next book is Goddamn Tragedy #1. Now this is a one-shot. This is put out by Ani Press. The writer on this is Chris Condon, and the artist is Sean Kuranuru, I think is how you say it. I've been really impressed lately with Ani Press. They've been doing a lot of different things that I think are really cool. Like they remind me of like a young Vertigo or something. They resurrected like the EC brand, you know, but and they're doing like some cool minis. Like I reviewed Calvera PI, and there's another one I just bought that looks really cool. And this is a one shot, so you only have to buy. It's a $6.99 cover price. And if you're not familiar with the name Chris Condon, he's the creator or the writer behind That Texas Blood and Ultimate Wolverine. And this seems to be definitely, this one shot seems to be in his wheelhouse, especially with That Texas Blood. He loves that Western noir kind of story. I haven't read Ultimate Wolverine. I've heard good things about it, but I have read That Texas Blood, and I hope he goes back to it at some point. But if not, I'll take what I can get, and I'll check out Goddamn Tragedy. It's one shot, and it looks really cool. So if you want to get that, this is the product code from the Lunar and DCBS website. So check that out. Let your retailer know that you want this. All right, moving on to our next book is 10,000 Ink Stains, a memoir hardcover. Now, this is a memoir from the great creator Jeff Lemire, great artist and great writer. I always loved his art, like as you can see from this image here. He definitely has a style unlike anybody else out there, which I always appreciated. And he's very good at human drama and slice of life kind of stories, but he also mixes in that fantastical element, and it really pops with his stuff. And he's done I've read a lot of his stories, and a lot of them are very different from each other. He doesn't have, certain writers fall into sometimes like a certain genre or wheelhouse that they're very good at. Jeff Lemire seems to be great at all of it. So, and that's the highest compliment I could give. And this is a hardcover book. It covers all his early work. It also, I guess it has essays from him about each series, and then also where he was in his life and how that influenced the series and things like that. So this one is a little pricey side because it's a hardcover, but this one would make a great gift for people, or I may ask for this down the road towards Christmas and see if I can get it, because I do have probably 80% of all of Jeff Lemire's work. There's a few that I'm missing, but I do think I have most of his stuff. So I definitely would be interested in adding this to my collection. All right, so if you want 10,000 Ink Stains, the code for Lunar and DCBS is right here, or just simply go to your shop and ask them to grab this for you for your pull list. All right, 3 more. Moving on, we got Umbrella Academy Plan B #1. This is by writer Gerard Way and artist Gabriel Ba. Now, this is the continuing saga of the Umbrella Academy, which I'm sure you're aware of. There's the comic series, and also the Netflix series that just finished. Now, I'm on the. I actually prefer the comics over the Netflix series. I didn't even finish the Netflix series. I thought it was okay. I like the comic because it's not afraid to go into weird places and really be bizarre, like the way the Doom Patrol was. And, you can tell that's what writer Gerard Way is trying to channel, is like the Doom Patrol in those early Vertigo comics. I love this cover too. I chose cover E. And Duncan Fegredo is one of my favorite artists, so I thought this cover was great. So I wanted to show that off. But this is, I think, the 4th or 5th series from the Umbrella Academy in comics, and this is supposed to be a 6-issue mini series. And I think the Umbrella Academy is taking on their old siblings, which was from their father, the guy that runs the academy. I forget his name, Hargreaves. It's supposed to be his original, I think the original team of the Umbrella Academy, something like that. But it looks cool. I've been collecting this series in trade paperback, so I'll probably wait until this is done and grab that trade. But if you want to grab Umbrella Academy, the 6 issues, this is the code from DCBS Lunar that you would give your shop and let them know that you want the Umbrella Academy. All right, two more. Moving on. Next one is Exquisite Corpses #1. This is a $4.99 book. It is by Image Comics. Writer James Tynion, along with Michael Walsh and Jordi Belair. Now, this is supposed to be a big. I read a whole article on this series, and it's supposed to have multiple creators throughout. I love the plot line. It's like a group of wealthy families that target towns and send 12 of their best serial killers to the town, and they all bet on who will be the last killer standing. Very interesting twist on like the Dangerous Game kind of storyline, and in the Exquisite Corpses game. If you ever played that with your kids, there's a game called Exquisite Corpses, which is kind of fun. Look that one up if you're not sure what it is. But James Tynion, on fire as a creator, and very one of my favorites, often mentioned on this channel lots of times, and so I'm really happy about this one. Sounds really cool. Michael Walsh is a new favorite as well. I just finished reading his Universal Monsters Frankenstein mini, and I thought that was really cool. So it sounds like James Tynion's at least writing the first one and maybe the last one. And then in between, it's going to be a bunch of different creators telling the stories of each of these killers. And then I guess advancing the plot at the same time. So I'm guessing that's how it's going to go. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I definitely have this one added to my pull list. So if you want to check out Exquisite Corpses, also wanted to mention $4.99 issue #1, but they said it's triple size. So that's great. They give you more pages for your buck. So I like that a lot. This is the code from Lunar and DCBS, or you just simply go to your store and ask for Exquisite Corpses to be added to your pull list. All right, our final one is another hardcover. This is John Sable Freelance, the Master Stroke Omnibus. This is the first volume of this. Now, if you're not familiar with John Sable Freelance, this is a character created by Mike Grell. This is a series I grew up with. It was big in the 80s when there was that first independent kind of boom. And it was from First Comics. This is when Nexus and like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was popping, and Airboy, things like that was like, such a big part of that time. And I have read some of the John Sables, and I remember they were excellent. I wish I still had them, but I'm kind of glad they're reprinting this. Now, this month, they have both Volume 1 and Volume 2 in the same, up for pre-order. I'm probably going to wait on this one, too, because it is a good chunk of change. But it's, an omnibus. It's probably going to be a really nice collection. And good stuff. I mean, I don't know if I know Mike Grell is a creator that's not really producing much anymore, but back in the 80s, he was doing Green Arrow. He was doing this. And I think he had another book. I don't remember which one it was, but all excellent. The Green Arrow Longbow Hunters and his Green Arrow run were so good at the time. I bet those still hold up really well. But anyways, yeah, if you want to check out John Sable Freelance, there was also, this is a deep cut, there was a short-lived TV series of Sable back in the day too. I want to say like on ABC back in like it must have been 1990 or 91. It lasted about 7 episodes. And I remember being so excited to watch it. And I think they only aired like 2 or 3 of them, and then the rest never was aired, And I bought a bootleg of it years later at a convention and rewatched them all, and they were still pretty good for a TV show, based off a comic at the time, where they, you normally don't follow. Back in those days, they didn't follow the comic or the source material very closely, but this one they actually did. It was pretty good. And it also had Renee Russo in it, which she was so hot at the time, and things like that. So great stuff. But anyways, this is the code from Lunar and DCBS that you would give your retailer and let them know that you want John Sable Freelance. All right, that is it for the picks this month for March 2025. I want to thank you guys for checking out this video series. It's I've been doing it pretty much every month for the last couple of years. So tune in. It's one of our highest rated videos besides our live stream. So that tells me I got to keep doing them, and I like highlighting and showing off stuff for people and letting them know why they should pick stuff up. So, but thank you everybody. Like, subscribe, share this video. Join us every other Monday for our live streams. Me, Johnny, and Harry get together with a bunch of indie creators. We look at their projects. We talk to them about their comic books. And on top of that, we have a great time doing it. So we'd love to have you watch us. That's Monday nights at 9 p.m. And if you're in the Connecticut area, catch me and Johnny at the Indie Creator Comic-Con in New Haven, Connecticut this Saturday. We'll be there all day selling our books, and we hope to see you. All right, have a great week. Read some comics, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.